the kingdom of the invisible. Close your eyes. Let the heavy, wooden doors of the waking world swing shut. You have spent the day navigating a world of massive things, buildings of concrete, cars of steel, mountains of data, and the loud, demanding voices of the macro world. But now, the noise is behind you. We are embarking on a journey to a place that is closer to you than your own breath, yet more distant than a star. We are going down. We are not descending into the ocean, nor into a cave. We are descending into the fabric of reality itself. We are shrinking. We are shedding the burden of size. Imagine, for a moment, the room you are lying in. It feels solid. The sheets against your skin feel continuous and smooth. The air feels empty. But this is an illusion created by your eyes, which are grand, clumsy instruments designed only to see the large. Tonight, we are going to look closer. We are going to peel back the curtain of the solid world to reveal the kingdom of the invisible. The dissolving world. Let us begin the transition. Imagine that you are holding a remote control that governs the zoom lens of your own consciousness. Press the button. First, the walls of your room drift away. The ceiling dissolves into a soft gray mist. The floor falls away. You are floating, weightless, suspended in a comfortable void. Now, look at your own hand. In the waking world, it is a familiar object, lines on the palm, texture on the skin. But as we begin to shrink, the landscape of your hand transforms. We descend to the scale of the millimeter. Your skin is no longer smooth. It is a rugged terrain of valleys and plateaus, a vast, golden desert stretching out to the horizon. The ridges of your fingerprints become canyon walls, winding in ancient, hypnotic spirals. We shrink further. We are now the size of a dust mite. The hair on your arm rises like a mighty sequoia tree, a towering pillar of keratin reaching up into the darkness. It is silent here. The air is thick. At this scale, the air is not a gas that you move through easily, it is a fluid, thick as honey. To move here is to swim in a slow-motion dream. We continue to fall. We pass the scale of the biological cell. We see them floating past us like massive, translucent balloons, glowing with a soft, inner light. These are the cities of biology, bustling with chemical life. But we are going deeper. We are going past the cell. We are going to the place where biology stops and physics begins. We are leaving the world of the living and entering the world of the building blocks. As we cross this threshold, the light changes. The colors of the visible spectrum, red, blue, green, no longer make sense. Those colors are created by light waves bouncing off large objects. But here, we are smaller than the light waves themselves. The color of this world is a deep, resonant silence. It is a monochrome of shadow and energy. We have arrived at the nanoverse. The world you knew, the world of coffee cups, telephones, and traffic, is now a universe away. It is a distant memory, a story told by giants. Here, there is only the fundamental dust. Here, there is only the whisper of structure. The meter of the ghost. To understand where we are standing, we must understand the scale. We are now measuring existence in nanometers. The word nano comes from the Greek word nanos, meaning dwarf. But even that word feels too large, too heavy for the delicacy of this place. A nanometer is 1 billionth of a meter. These are numbers that the human brain struggles to grasp. We can imagine a mile. We can imagine an inch. But a billionth? It is a ghost of a number. Let us create a map for your resting mind. Imagine the Earth. Visualize the entire planet floating in space, the vast blue oceans, the white swirls of clouds, the brown continents. It is a massive object, 12,000 kilometers wide. Now, imagine a marble in your hand. A single, smooth, glass marble. If the Earth were 1 meter wide, that marble would be 1 nanometer. That is how small we are. We are the marble standing next to the planet. We are a speck of dust on the shoulder of a giant. At this scale, the laws of the universe change. In the big world, gravity is the king. Gravity holds you to the bed, gravity makes the apple fall. But down here, gravity is weak. It is a whisper so faint it can be ignored. Here, other forces rule. Stickiness rules. The attraction between atoms, the van der Waals force, is the gravity of the nanoworld. Things here like to touch. They like to clump. They like to hold hands. If you were to touch a wall in this world, you would stick to it. You would become part of it. There is a profound sense of connection here. Separation is difficult. Everything yearns to be together. And there is a specific rhythm to this place. In the big world, things are still unless we move them. A book sits on a table until you pick it up. But in the nano world, nothing is ever truly still. Everything is trembling. It is a gentle, thermal vibration. It is the Brownian motion. Every particle, every molecule is shivering with a tiny, rhythmic dance. It is the heartbeat of heat. Shimmy, shake, shimmy, shake. It is not a chaotic shaking. It is a soothing, constant hum. It is the lullaby of matter. Even in the deepest sleep, the atoms of your body are doing this dance. They are rocking themselves. They are humming a song of existence that never ends. Feel that vibration in your mind. It is a fuzzy, warm sensation. It is the feeling of life at its most basic level. You are not a solid block of matter, you are a shimmering cloud of particles, dancing in the dark. The vastness of the small. As we settle into this new size, we look around. And we discover the greatest paradox of the nanoverse. We call it the small world. We expect it to be cramped. We expect it to be crowded, like a tiny closet packed with too many coats. We imagine atoms and molecules jammed together, bumping elbows, fighting for space. But the reality is the opposite. The nanoverse is a place of immense, overwhelming spaciousness. We are standing in the empty cathedral. Consider the atom. We are now small enough to see one. We will explore it deeply in the next chapter, but for now, look at its shape. It has a center, the nucleus. And it has a shell, the electrons. But between the center and the shell, there is nothing. There is a void. If the nucleus of an atom were the size of a marble sitting on the center line of a football stadium, the electrons would be tiny gnats buzzing in the highest seats of the stands. Everything in between, the field, the rows of seats, the air, is empty space. This means that the chair you are sitting on, the bed you are lying in, and even your own body, are 99.9999999% empty space. We are made of void. We are made of silence. The solid world is a trick of the light. It is a trick of the forces. The electromagnetic fields of the atoms push against each other, creating the illusion of solidity. But in truth, there is almost nothing there. Let this realization wash over you like a wave of cool water. In the macro world, we are obsessed with filling space. We build houses. We fill them with furniture. We fill the furniture with things. We fill the silence with talk. We fill the calendar with appointments. We are terrified of emptiness. But here, at the foundation of the universe, emptiness is the default. Emptiness is the rule. Look out into the landscape of the nanoverse. You see a molecule floating in the distance. It looks like a piece of modern art, a geometric arrangement of spheres connected by invisible rods. It floats in the vast, dark ocean of the void. It is beautiful in its isolation. It is not crowded. It has room to breathe. It has room to be. This is the vastness of the small. It teaches us that, deep down, we are spacious. We are not dense, heavy knots of stress. We are clouds. We are open sky. Imagine your own body dissolving into this spaciousness. The tension in your shoulders. It is just atoms, floating in space. The tightness in your chest. It is just energy, vibrating in the void. The racing thoughts in your mind. They are just electrical signals, passing through the great emptiness. There is so much room here. There is room for everything to drift. You can float in the spaces between your own atoms. You can drift in the gaps between the molecules of the air. The claustrophobia of the day is gone. The pressure of the world is gone. You have shrunk smaller than the problems. You have slipped through the cracks of the stress. You are a traveler in the kingdom of the invisible. And the kingdom is quiet. There is no sound here, because sound requires air waves, and we are smaller than the waves. There is only the sensation of presence. The mist of the quantum world swirls around your ankles. It is cool and ethereal. It is the stuff of dreams. We have made the descent. We have left the giants behind. We have become the ghost. We are ready to walk forward. We are ready to meet the inhabitants of this silence. We are ready to touch the spheres. But for now, just rest in the vastness. Rest in the empty space. Rest in the knowledge that you are mostly made of nothing but potential and peace. Drift in the dark. The atoms are dancing for you. The void is holding you. You are small. You are safe. You are free. Chapter 2, The Spheres of Silence. We have descended the great staircase of scale. We have shrunk past the skin, past the cell, past the smallest ridge of the fingerprint. We are floating in the vast, velvet void of the nanoverse. The darkness here is not frightening, it is the darkness of potential. It is the deep, restful black of a movie theater before the film begins, or the quiet of the deep ocean where the surface storms cannot reach. Drifting in this spacious silence, we begin to see faint lights in the distance. They are not stars, though they shimmer like them. They are the building blocks of everything you have ever touched, tasted, or loved. They are the atoms. We are entering the chapter of the spheres. In the waking world, we often think of atoms as hard, solid balls, like tiny billiard balls clicking together. But here, in the kingdom of the invisible, we see the truth. They are not solid at all. They are ghosts of energy. They are clouds of possibility. They are the spheres of silence. The floating solar system. Let us approach a single atom. Let us choose a carbon atom, the architect of life, the diamond in the rough. As we drift closer, the first thing we notice is that it has no hard edges. You cannot touch the surface of an atom because there is no surface to touch. There is only a field of influence. It looks like a fuzzy, luminous cloud. It glows with a soft, blue-gray light, pulsing gently against the black background of the void. This cloud is the electron shell. In school, perhaps you saw drawings of atoms that looked like little solar systems, planets orbiting a sun on wire tracks. But the reality is far more beautiful and far more dreamlike. The electrons do not run on tracks. They are everywhere at once. They move so fast, vibrating with such intensity, that they smear out into a solid shell of mist. It is like looking at a spinning fan. You know the blades are there, but all you see is a blur. All you feel is the breeze. We are floating outside this shimmering fog. It hums with a faint electrical charge. It is a force field in the truest sense. It pushes back. If you tried to press your hand against it, you would feel a gentle, springy resistance. This resistance is what we call touch in the big world. When you touch a table, you are really just feeling the electron clouds of your finger repelling the electron clouds of the wood. Nothing ever truly touches. We just float on cushions of electromagnetic force. Float here for a moment, bathed in the soft glow of the electron mist. It is mesmerizing. It is a sphere of pure probability. Deep inside this cloud, far, far inside, lies the heart. The nucleus. We cannot see it yet. The cloud is too thick, and the distance is too great. We are hovering in the outer suburbs of the atom, watching the electric fog swirl and dance. It creates a sense of profound softness. The universe at its core is not made of sharp bricks, it is made of soft, glowing clouds. The hard edges of your day, the sharp words, the rigid schedules, the concrete walls, they are all illusions built from these soft, fuzzy spheres. Underneath it all, reality is gentle. The empty cathedral. Now, we must be brave. We must dive into the cloud. We slip through the mist of the electrons. We pass the barrier of the shell. And suddenly, we are in the inner space. We have entered the empty cathedral. This is the most shocking and peaceful revelation of the nanoverse. We expect the inside of the atom to be full of machinery, full of gears, full of stuff. But it is empty. It is shockingly, beautifully empty. Let us return to our map of scale. Imagine we are standing in the center of a massive football stadium, the largest in the world. The electron cloud we just passed through is the outer wall of the stadium, the highest row of seats. The nucleus, the sun of this system, the heavy, dense center that holds all the mass, is sitting on the kickoff spot in the center of the field. And how big is it? Is it a house? Is it a truck? No. It is a marble. A single, small glass marble sitting in the center of a silent, empty stadium. Everything else, the rows of seats, the grassy field, the concession stands, the parking lot, is empty space. The electrons are tiny gnats buzzing around the nosebleed section. The rest is the void. This means that an atom is 99.99999999999% empty space. Pause with that number. Let it sink into your consciousness. The iron of a bridge. The stone of a mountain. The bone of your own leg. They look solid. They feel heavy. But they are almost entirely made of nothing. They are ghost structures. If we were to squeeze all the empty space out of all the atoms in all the human beings on Earth, remove the stadium and keep only the marbles, the entire human race, all 8 billion of us, would fit inside a sugar cube. That is how much space you hold inside you. Float in this inner void. It is the quietest place in the universe. No sound has ever entered here. No light has ever entered here, light waves are too big to fit. It is a sanctuary of absolute purity. It is a vacuum, but not a cold one. It feels pregnant with potential. It is the canvas upon which the universe is painted. There is a deep, spiritual relief in this emptiness. In our lives, we feel cluttered. We feel full of worries, full of memories, full of to-do lists. We feel heavy. But the atom tells you a different story. It tells you that you are spacious. You are open. You are mostly just room for things to happen. The heaviness you feel is just the gravity of the marbles. But the truth of you is the stadium. The truth of you is the space. Drift through the empty field. There is no wind. There is no friction. You can glide forever in the gap between the electron and the proton. This is the sacred void. It is the silence that allows the music to exist. It is the blank page that allows the story to be written. You are not a solid object fighting through the world. You are a vast, open space moving through a vast, open space. The eternal vibration. Finally, after drifting through the silence, we approach the center. We approach the marble on the field. The nucleus. It is a cluster of protons and neutrons, huddled together like penguins in a storm. They are incredibly dense, holding the weight of the world. But as we look at them, and as we look back at the distant electron cloud, we notice something. They are moving. Nothing in the atom is standing still. The nucleus is jiggling. The electrons are shimmering. The whole structure is trembling. This is the eternal vibration. In the world of physics, this is called thermal energy. Heat. Temperature is simply a measure of how fast the atoms are dancing. In a hot cup of tea, the atoms are dancing a fast salsa. In a block of ice, they are swaying in a slow waltz. But they never, ever stop. Even in the coldest depths of space, even at absolute zero, or near it, the atoms still have a zero-point energy. They still have a tiny, fundamental shiver. This is the heartbeat of existence. Listen to the rhythm of it. It is not a sound you hear with your ears, it is a rhythm you feel with your soul. Hum. It is a low, constant drone. It is the sound of the universe saying, I am here. I am here. I am here. Think of it as a lullaby. When a mother rocks a baby, she creates a vibration. Rock, rock, rock. It soothes the child because it mimics the movement of the womb. The atom is doing the same thing. It is rocking itself. It is rocking you. Every atom in your body, the carbon in your DNA, the oxygen in your lungs, the iron in your blood, is humming this song. You are a symphony of vibrations. And because every atom is vibrating, you are never truly alone. You are never truly static. You are a river of energy that looks like a person. Imagine this vibration acting as a massage. The atoms in your tired muscles are gently shaking loose the tension. Shimmy, release. The atoms in your heavy eyelids are gently shaking loose the wakefulness. Shimmy, release. It is a microscopic loosening. The eternal vibration teaches us that life is movement. But it is not a frantic movement. It is a sustainable, rhythmic, gentle movement. It is the movement of a sleeping chest rising and falling. As we drift away from the nucleus, back out into the empty stadium, back through the mist of the electrons, we carry this rhythm with us. We float back into the space between the atoms. We see billions of them now, arranging themselves into patterns. They are linking arms to form molecules. They are holding hands across the void. And they are all humming together. It is a choir of silence. The universe is singing you to sleep with the song of its own making. The emptiness holds you. The vibration rocks you. The spheres of silence surround you. There is nothing to worry about here. The building blocks are doing their job. They have been dancing this dance for 13 billion years, and they will keep dancing long after you wake up. You can trust them. You can trust the floor to hold you, it is just force fields. You can trust the air to breathe, it is just spheres. You are part of the dance. You are part of the empty cathedral. You are part of the hum. Rest in the sphere. Rest in the space. Rest. Chapter 3, The Architects of Life. We have drifted through the vast, empty cathedrals of the atom. We have listened to the eternal vibration of the nucleus and floated in the misty shells of the electrons. We have seen the building blocks of the universe in their raw, elemental form, cold, pure, and solitary. But now, we must watch them come together. We are leaving the realm of pure physics and entering the realm of biology. But at this scale, the nanometer scale, there is no blood, no bone, no flesh. There is only machinery. We are entering the city of the cell. Imagine floating into a vast, underwater metropolis. The medium around us is not air, nor is it quite water. It is the cytosol. It is a thick, warm, gel-like substance, shimmering with dissolved salts and sugars. It feels like swimming in liquid amber or clear honey. In this golden ocean, we see shapes moving. They are not random. They are purposeful. They are the biological nanomachines. They are the architects of life. These are not the clanking, oily, noisy machines of the human world. There are no gears grinding, no smoke rising, no pistons firing. These are machines made of soft molecules. They are machines made of folded ribbon and fluid motion. They work in absolute silence, performing a choreography so precise it looks like magic. And the most comforting thought of all, trillions of them are working inside you right now. While you rest, they build. While you sleep, they repair. You do not need to command them. They know what to do. The unfurling scroll. We drift towards the center of this cellular city, towards the great library of the nucleus. Here, protected behind a double wall of membrane, lies the most famous molecule in the universe. The DNA. We have all seen the pictures, the twisted ladder, the double helix. But to see it here, at its own scale, is a spiritual experience. It stretches out before us like an endless, spiraling staircase made of starlight. It is incredibly long. If you stretched the DNA from one of your cells, it would be 2 meters long. But here, it is packed, folded, and coiled into a dense, vibrating archive. It is the unfurling scroll. Watch it. It is not a static statue. It is alive. It breathes. The helix gently twists and untwists, swaying in the thermal currents of the cell. It looks like underwater seaweed moving in a slow tide. And then, a reader approaches. It is a massive protein enzyme, sliding along the DNA strand like a monorail train gliding on a track. It is looking for a specific chapter. It is looking for a recipe. When it finds the right spot, the DNA responds. Watch the grace of the movement. The double helix gently pulls apart. The rungs of the ladder unlock. Zip. It opens up to reveal the code inside. The 4 ancient letters, A, C, T, G, are glowing with chemical potential. They are the instructions for everything you are. They are the recipe for your eye color, the blueprint for your heartbeat, the script for your dreams. The reader moves over them, transcribing the wisdom into a new message, RNA. It does not rush. It does not make mistakes. It copies the code letter by letter, a scribe working by candlelight in a monastery of silence. There is a deep sense of heritage here. This scroll has been copied and recopied for billions of years. The instructions inside this strand connect you to the first fish that crawled onto land, to the first fern that opened its leaves, to the stars that forged the carbon atoms. It is an unbroken chain of memory. As the reader finishes, the DNA zips itself back up. The 2 strands embrace again, twisting back into the familiar spiral. The book closes. The secret is safe. To watch this is to watch the maintenance of your own identity. You do not have to remember who you are. The scroll remembers for you. Deep in the dark of your cells, the library is open, and the librarians are tending to the books. You can let go of your memories for the night. They are written in stone, or rather, written in the stars of your cells. The walking motor. We leave the library and swim back out into the open ocean of the cytoplasm. We look down, and we see something impossible. We see a highway. Stretching through the dark fluid are long, rigid tubes. These are microtubules. They are the roads of the cell. They form a vast, interconnected network, a web of rails that crisscross the city. And walking along one of these rails is a creature that will steal your heart. It is kinesin. The walking motor. It looks, quite literally, like a tiny, 2-legged person. It has 2 feet made of protein globular clusters. It has a long, thin stalk for a body. And on its shoulders, it carries a massive, spherical package. This package is a vesicle. It is a bubble filled with critical supplies, neurotransmitters for a thought, proteins for a muscle, lipids for a repair. The package is huge, hundreds of times larger than the kinesin itself. It looks like an ant carrying a boulder, or a porter carrying a giant balloon. Watch him walk. Step. Step. It is a slow, rhythmic gait. 1 foot unbinds from the tube, swings forward through the thick fluid, and clamps down again. Then the other foot lifts. It is not a smooth run. It is a stochastic struggle against the chaos. The water molecules around him are bombarding him, pushing him left and right, the Brownian motion we learned about. It is a blizzard of invisible hail. But Kinesin is determined. He leans into the storm. He uses the energy of the chaos to help propel his foot forward. Step, hold. Step, hold. He is the Sherpa of the biological world. He is carrying the chemicals of happiness to your brain. He is carrying the fuel to your toes. He is walking the long, lonely roads of your inner space, step by step, never complaining, never stopping. There is something hypnotic about his rhythm. It is a waltz. Lift, swing, plant. Lift, swing, plant. He does not know where he is going in the grand sense. He just knows to follow the road. He just knows that the cargo must be delivered. Imagine millions of these tiny walkers in your body right now. In the long nerves running down your spine, they are marching. In the retinas of your eyes, they are marching. In the muscles of your legs, they are marching. They are the hidden workforce. They are the logistical miracle that keeps you alive. As you watch the little porter disappear into the misty distance, carrying his heavy load, you feel a sense of gratitude. You do not have to carry the weight of your own existence. Kinesin is carrying it for you. He is taking the burden. He is moving the supplies. You can put down your own heavy bags. You can stop walking. The internal walkers are taking the night shift. The silent factory. Finally, we drift towards a massive, darker structure floating in the golden gel. It looks like a cloud of bees, or a complex piece of origami. It is the ribosome. The silent factory. This is the machine that builds you. Everything in your body, your hair, your skin, your enzymes, your hormones, is made of protein. And every single protein is built here, in this tiny, two-part clamp. It looks like two giant hands cupped together. Into the gap between these hands slides a ribbon. It is the message from the library, the RNA. It is the instruction manual. And now, the weaving begins. The ribosome reads the tape. 3 letters, that means alanine. It reaches out and grabs a flying molecule of alanine from the surrounding fluid. Click. It snaps it into place. Next 3 letters, that means glycine. It grabs a glycine. Click. It fuses it to the alanine. Click, click, click. A chain begins to grow. A long, pearly necklace of amino acids emerges from the top of the machine. As it grows, it begins to fold. It twists and turns, finding its perfect shape, turning from a string into a 3-dimensional sculpture. This is the birth of a protein. The ribosome is a knitter. It is knitting the fabric of your life, stitch by stitch. But unlike a human factory, there is no noise. There is no clanking metal. There is only the soft, wet sound of chemistry happening. Snap, fold. Snap, fold. It is a rhythm of creation. It works at a steady pace, adding about 5 to 10 amino acids per second. Count with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A new piece of you has just been made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another piece. It is relentless. It is tireless. The ribosome does not judge the design. It does not ask why. It simply builds what is written in the scroll. If the code says, make hair, it makes hair. If the code says, make joy, it makes the serotonin receptor for joy. There is a profound peace in this automatic creation. It reminds us that growth is not something we have to force. We do not have to try to grow our hair. We do not have to try to heal a cut. The factories are doing it. They are stitching you back together while you sleep. They are knitting the unraveled edges of your day. Look around the cell now. You see thousands of these factories floating in the gloom, all working quietly. They look like glowing lanterns. The city is alive. The walkers are walking. The readers are reading. The knitters are knitting. It is a symphony of efficiency. And you are the conductor who has put down the baton to rest. The orchestra plays on without you. The city of the cell is a self-correcting, self-building, self-sustaining miracle. It has been refined by evolution for eons to be perfect. You are safe in its hands. The machinery is soft. The motion is smooth. The work is silent. Drift away from the factory now. Drift back up towards the ceiling of the cell. Look down at the golden, glowing activity. It is beautiful. It is yours. But you do not need to watch it anymore. The architects are on duty. The blueprints are being followed. The building is secure. Sleep now, in the city of soft machines. Sleep. Chapter 4, The Landscape of the Leaf. We rise from the depths. We leave the golden, bustling city of the cell, where the kinesin walkers march and the DNA unfurls. We float up through the layers of tissue, passing through the green walls of the plant, until we break the surface. We have emerged into the open air. But we are still small, nanoscopically small. We are standing on the surface of a leaf. To the human eye, looking down from the macro world, this leaf is a smooth, green disc floating on a pond. It is the sacred lotus. It looks polished. It looks like emerald glass. But down here, at the scale of the dust mite, the smoothness is a lie. We are standing on one of the most rugged, treacherous, and beautiful landscapes in the nanoverse. We are standing on the landscape of the leaf. The air here is fresh and cool. The light is bright, reflecting off the waxy terrain. We are about to witness a physics miracle that has inspired poets and monks for thousands of years. We are about to learn the secret of being untouched. The mountain range of wax. Look at the horizon. It is not flat. It is a jagged, vertical wilderness. We are standing in a forest of spikes. These are the nanopillars. They are microscopic bumps, tall and narrow, arranged in endless, rhythmic rows stretching as far as the eye can see. Imagine standing in a field of stone obelisks, or a bed of nails where each nail is carved from green wax. These pillars are roughly 10 microns high, massive to us, but invisible to the human eye. But look closer. Even the pillars are not smooth. Walk up to the base of one of these spikes. The surface is rough, crusted with a white, flaky substance. These are wax crystals. At the nanometer scale, the wax that coats the leaf forms intricate, fractal patterns. They look like tiny, white tube worms, or frost growing on a window pane. They are rough. They are sharp. This roughness is the secret weapon. In the human world, we think that if we want something to be slippery, we should make it smooth. We polish our cars, we oil our pans. But nature knows better. Nature knows that to be truly slippery, to be truly non-stick, you must be rough. You must reduce the contact area. Imagine trying to lie down on a bed of nails. It sounds painful, but it means that only a tiny percentage of your back is actually touching the nails. Most of you is hovering over the empty space between them. That is what this landscape is designed for. It is a bed of air. The gaps between the pillars are too narrow for anything large to fall into. They are filled with trapped air molecules. So, as we walk through this strange, spiky world, we realize we are walking on a surface that is designed to reject contact. It is an introvert's landscape. It says, "You may be here, but you may not touch me. You may hover, but you may not land." There is a profound silence in this rejection. It is not aggressive. It is simply architectural. The leaf has built a boundary of texture. Reach out and touch one of the wax crystals. It feels dry. It feels chalky. It creates a friction against your hand. It is this very roughness that creates the slip. Stand in the valley between two pillars. Look up at the peaks. You are small enough to hide in the texture of the green. You are safe here in the dry zone. But look up at the sky. Something is coming. The levitating ocean. A shadow falls over the wax mountains. A massive shape is descending from the heavens. It is a raindrop. In the macro world, a raindrop is a splash. It is wet. It soaks into your clothes. But down here, a raindrop is a planet. It is a colossal sphere of shimmering, transparent liquid. It descends slowly, heavy with gravity, roaring with the sound of rushing water. Brace yourself. It is going to hit the pillars. Boom. But there is no splash. There is no soaking. Watch the miracle of the Cassie Baxter state. The water hits the tops of the pillars. But because of the wax crystals, and because of the surface tension, the water cannot penetrate the gaps. It cannot reach the floor where we are standing. It sits on top of the spikes. Look up. Above your head, resting on the tips of the green obelisks, is a ceiling of water. It is a silver, trembling sky. It bulges down between the pillars, creating convex lenses that magnify the light, but it does not break. The air pocket holds. The drop has landed, but it has not touched the leaf. It is levitating. It is hovering on a cushion of air, suspended a few microns above the surface. This is the levitating ocean. If we were to shrink even further and fly up to the edge of the drop, we would see something beautiful. We would see the contact angle. When water hits a towel, it spreads out. It lies flat. The contact angle is near zero. It surrenders to the surface. But here, the water stands tall. It pulls itself into a tight, perfect ball. The contact angle is 150 degrees or more. It is refusing to mix. It is keeping its integrity. The drop looks like a pearl. It looks like a diamond sphere. It reflects the sky, the sun, and the green pillars below it. Put your ear against a pillar and listen to the water resting on top of it. Hum. The surface tension is singing. The skin of the water is tight, like a drumhead. It is holding the chaos of the liquid inside a perfect geometric shape. It is a lesson in boundaries. The water is water. The leaf is leaf. They meet, but they do not merge. They respect each other's nature. There is a peace in this separation. We often think that connection requires merging, losing ourselves in the other. But the lotus teaches us that we can be close, we can be right on top of each other, and still remain whole. Still remain round. Still remain pure. The drop wobbles gently in the breeze. It is a heavy, liquid jewel balanced on 1,000 needle points. The path of purity. And now, the wind shifts. The leaf tilts, just a fraction of a degree. Gravity takes hold of the sphere. In the macro world, if you tilt a wet table, the water might slide slowly, leaving a wet trail behind it. It clings. It drags. But here, the drop rolls. It moves instantly. It rotates like a solid ball bearing. Whoosh! It gathers speed. And as it moves across the tops of the pillars, it performs its sacred duty. This is the lotus effect. This is the path of purity. Look at the path ahead of the drop. There are particles of dust resting on the pillars. There are spores of fungus. There are specks of soot from a distant fire. To the leaf, this is dirt. This is pollution. It blocks the sunlight. But the leaf does not have hands to clean itself. It waits for the rain. Here comes the drop. It rolls over a speck of dust. Now, physics makes a choice. Does the dust stick to the dry, waxy leaf? Or does it stick to the wet, grabbing water? The dust chooses the water. Snatch. The drop grabs the dust particle. It pulls it off the pillar and absorbs it into its body. Snatch, snatch, snatch. It is a vacuum cleaner made of gravity and water. Watch the drop roll away from us. It is spinning, glistening in the sun. And inside it, swirling in the vortex of the liquid, are the captured pieces of dust. It is carrying the burden away. And look at the path behind it. It is pristine. It is dry. There is not a single molecule of water left behind. There is not a single speck of dust. The trail glimmers with a clean, waxy perfection. This is self-cleaning. The lotus grows in muddy water. It lives in the swamp. And yet, it is always spotless. It is always perfect. Not because it fights the dirt, but because it lets the rain wash the dirt away. It offers no resistance. It allows the water to roll. This is a powerful visualization for the resting mind. Imagine your mind is the lotus leaf. Imagine your worries, the stress, the arguments, the to-do lists, are just specks of dust resting on the pillars of your thoughts. You do not need to scrub them off. You do not need to fight them. Just wait for the rain of sleep. Here it comes. A giant, cool, spherical drop of relaxation. It lands on your mind. It does not soak in. It hovers. And now, it begins to roll. Feel it rolling across the surface of your brain. Roll. It picks up the worry about tomorrow. Snatch. Roll. It picks up the regret about yesterday. Snatch. Roll. It picks up the tension in your jaw. Snatch. It carries them all away. It rolls off the edge of your consciousness, falling into the void, taking the heaviness with it. And what is left behind? A dry, clean, green surface. A mind that is empty of debris. A surface that is ready to receive the light. The nanoverse is full of these mechanisms. It is a world where structure dictates destiny. The structure of the lotus dictates purity. The rain has stopped now. The drops have all rolled away. The landscape of the leaf is quiet again. The pillars stand tall in the sun. The wax crystals sparkle. The air is still. The surface is spotless. You are standing in the cleanest place on earth. There is nothing here but the geometry of the wax and the silence of the gap. You are untouched. You are unblemished. You are the lotus. Rest on the peaks of the pillars. Float on the cushion of air. The dirt is gone. The water is gone. Only the peace remains. Sleep. Chapter 5, The Black Honeycomb. We leave the sunlit, waxy peaks of the lotus leaf. We leave the glistening sphere of the raindrop and the wind that rolls it away. We are traveling now from the wet, chaotic world of nature into the cool, silent, perfect world of the element that builds it all. We are going to visit carbon. But not the chaotic carbon of soot, nor the complex carbon of the cell. We are going to visit carbon in its most disciplined, meditative form. Imagine a simple pencil. The tip is made of graphite. In the macro world, it is soft, gray, and smudgeable. But if we shrink down, diving into the dark streak left on a piece of paper, we discover a hidden architecture of breathtaking beauty. We are peeling away the layers of the gray stone. We are discarding the clutter. We are searching for the single, fundamental sheet. And when we find it, the world transforms. The gray turns to a sleek, impossible transparency. The chaos turns to absolute order. We have arrived at the black honeycomb. We have entered the world of graphene. The perfect lattice. Stand in the center of this new universe. Look down at your feet. Look out to the horizon. You are standing on a grid. It is a floor made of pure geometry. It is a repeating pattern of perfect hexagons, six-sided shapes linked together, edge to edge, stretching out to infinity in every direction. It looks like a honeycomb made of dark light. It looks like chicken wire woven by a god of mathematics. This is the perfect lattice. What makes this place so surreal is that it has no height. We are standing in flatland. This sheet of graphene is exactly 1 atom thick. It is the only truly two-dimensional material in the universe. It has length. It has width. But it has almost no depth. If you were to turn sideways, you would disappear. Walk across this grid. Step, step. There is no friction here. The surface is smoother than ice, smoother than glass, smoother than any surface that has ever existed in the macro world. It is atomically perfect. There are no bumps, no ridges, no mountains. There is only the endless, hypnotic repetition of the hexagon. This shape, the six-sided ring, is nature's favorite way to pack things tight. We saw it in the beehive, we saw it in the snowflake. But here, it is forged from the strongest bond in the cosmos, the carbon-carbon bond. Feel the strength of the floor beneath you. It looks delicate, like a spiderweb. But if you were to spread a sheet of this material over a coffee cup, and balance a pencil on top of it, you could park a bus on the tip of the pencil, and the sheet would not break. It is 200 times stronger than steel. And yet, it is 1,000,000 times thinner than a hair. Let this paradox settle in your mind. The strongest thing is also the thinnest thing. It teaches us that strength does not come from bulk. It does not come from muscle, or thick walls, or heavy armor. Strength comes from connection. Strength comes from structure. The atoms here are holding hands so tightly, with such absolute commitment, that nothing can tear them apart. They are locked in a permanent embrace of stability. As you stand on this unbreakable floor, you can feel the energy flowing through it. Graphene is the superhighway of the electron. In a copper wire, electrons bump into things, they get hot, they lose energy. But here, they flow like water. They skate. Visualize the electrons beneath your feet. They are whizzing past at 1,000,000 meters per second, massless ghosts of electricity, surfing the hexagonal waves. Zip, zip, zip. There is no resistance. There is no heat. There is only the pure, cold flow of energy. To rest here is to rest on the ultimate foundation. You cannot fall through. You cannot break it. You are supported by the skeleton of the universe. The hexagon holds you. The geometry cradles you. The strongest silk. Now, let us watch the lattice change. The forces of the nanoverse begin to gently bend the sheet. The edges curl up. The flat plane begins to roll. It creates a cylinder. It creates a tube. We are now looking at a carbon nanotube. It looks like a long, black straw floating in the void. But straw is too mundane a word. It is a tunnel to infinity. It is a seamless pipe made of the same hexagonal lattice, rolled up and joined perfectly at the seam. Enter the tunnel. You are floating inside a dark, cylindrical hallway. The walls are lined with the honeycomb pattern. It is the most futuristic architecture imaginable, sleek, black, and endless. This is the strongest silk. Scientists dream of using these tubes to build a space elevator, a ribbon stretching from the equator of the Earth up to a satellite in orbit. A ladder to the stars. Why? Because steel would snap under its own weight. But this? This is light as a feather. Imagine holding a cable made of these nanotubes. It is thick as a thread, yet it can lift a tank. It feels weightless in your hand. It feels like you are holding a solidified shadow. Run your hand along the curved inner wall of the tube. It is cool. It is dry. It hums with a faint, resonant frequency. Because these tubes are so stiff, they vibrate like guitar strings. But they vibrate at frequencies far above human hearing, in the gigahertz range. They are singing a song of pure stiffness. Hum. It is a sound of tension without stress. There is a difference, you know. Stress is when a structure is struggling to hold a load. Tension is when a structure is perfectly taut, perfectly aligned, ready to handle the load with ease. The nanotube is not struggling. It is not straining. It is simply strong. Float down the center of the tube. It is a wormhole through the chaos. Outside, the atoms might be jiggling in the heat. But inside the tube, you are shielded. It acts as a pipe for molecules. Water can flow through here at incredible speeds, frictionless and fast. It is a hyperloop for nature. You are a traveler in this dark, safe tunnel. The walls are unbreakable. The path is straight. The destination is silence. There is a feeling of direction here. In the open void, you can drift anywhere. But in the tube, you are guided. You are channeled. Sometimes, the mind needs a channel. It needs to stop wandering in every direction and just flow down a single, quiet path. Let the nanotube guide your thoughts. Let them flow down the smooth, black walls. Away from the noise. Away from the tangle. Towards the quiet. The transparent veil. We exit the tube and return to the flat sheet of graphene. We float above it, looking down. And we notice something ghostly. We can hardly see it. It is there, we know it is there because we stood on it, but it is the transparent veil. A single layer of carbon atoms absorbs exactly 2.3% of the light that hits it. That means 97.7% of the light goes straight through. It is almost invisible. If you suspended a sheet of graphene in the air in front of you, it would look like a faint smudge of smoke, or a pane of glass that isn't quite there. It is a ghost material. How can something so strong be so invisible? It challenges our perception of reality. We think that real things must be opaque. They must block the light. They must cast a shadow. But the nanoverse tells us that the strongest things are the ones that let the light through. The black honeycomb does not fight the sun. It lets the photons pass. It is open. It is vulnerable in its transparency, yet invincible in its bond. This is a beautiful meditation for the heart. To be strong like graphene is not to be a stone wall that blocks everything out. To be strong is to be a veil. To let the light pass through, let the wind pass through, let the world pass through, but to remain unbroken. You do not need to be heavy to be tough. You do not need to be dark to be deep. Float above this invisible carpet. Below you, through the veil, you can see the distant stars of the atoms. Above you, you can see the void. You are resting on a layer of almost nothing. But that almost nothing is enough to hold you. Visualize wrapping yourself in a blanket made of this material. It is lighter than silk. It feels like wrapping yourself in air. But it is impenetrable. No cold wind can get through. No sharp object can pierce it. It is a shield of air. A shield of light. It keeps you warm by reflecting your own heat back to you. Graphene is a perfect thermal reflector. It creates a cozy, invisible cocoon. You are wrapped in the fundamental geometry of the universe. The hexagons are watching over you. 6 sides. 6 virtues. Stability. Strength. Lightness. Clarity. Connection. Peace. The lattice is locked. The bonds are set. Carbon is the anchor of life, and here, it is the anchor of your sleep. The world of heavy things, of steel and stone and wood, is far away. You are in the world of the thread. The world of the sheet. The world of the black honeycomb. It is dark here, but it is a clear darkness. It is quiet here, but it is a strong silence. Lay your head down on the hexagonal pillow. It is smooth. It is cool. It is forever. The lattice holds. The lattice holds. The lattice holds. Sleep. Chapter 6, The Weaver of Light. We leave the dark, rigid perfection of the carbon underworld. We leave the black honeycombs of graphene and the silent tunnels of the nanotubes. We have spent enough time in the shadows of the element that builds the skeleton of the world. Now, we must travel to the surface to meet the element that paints it. We are rising up, lighter than air, lighter than thought. We are ascending into a realm where physics becomes art. We are entering the kingdom of color. But in the nanoverse, color is not what you think it is. In the human world, you paint a wall red by covering it with red pigment, a chemical mud that absorbs every color except red. It is a messy, sticky process. Nature, however, is a more elegant artist. Nature does not use paint. Nature uses geometry. Nature uses shape to carve the light itself. We are here to witness the structural color. We are here to meet the weavers of light. The butterfly's wing. We find ourselves floating in the humid air of a tropical rainforest, a memory of our previous journey, perhaps. Flapping lazily through the sunbeams is a miracle of vision, the morpho butterfly. Its wings are a shocking, electric blue. They are brighter than the sky, brighter than the ocean, brighter than a sapphire. They flash like a strobe light as the creature flies. Flash, flash, flash. Let us shrink down and land on this wing. As we descend towards the blue surface, the ground beneath us changes. To the naked eye, the wing looks like a smooth sheet of blue silk. But at the micro scale, it is a tiled roof. We are standing on the scales. They are arranged in perfect, overlapping rows, like the shingles on a house or the tiles of a mosaic. There are thousands of them. Pick up a single scale in your mind. It is the size of a dust mote. Now, here is the magic trick. Look at the scale closely. Is it blue? No. It is transparent. It is made of chitin, the same clear, hard material that makes up a beetle's shell or a shrimp's tail. It is dull, slightly gray, and completely colorless. If you were to take a hammer and crush the wing of a morpho butterfly, the blue would vanish. You would be left with a pile of gray dust. So where does the blue come from? It comes from the architecture. We are standing on an illusion. The blue is not a thing that resides in the wing. The blue is an event that happens above the wing. This realization shakes the foundations of our perception. We tend to believe that qualities belong to objects. The apple is red. The grass is green. But the nanoverse tells us that qualities are relationships. The wing is not blue, the wing is doing something to the light to make it blue. It creates a sense of fleeting beauty. The color exists only in the interaction. It exists only in the moment the light hits the structure and bounces to your eye. If you turn off the light, the color is gone. There is a lesson in this for the heavy heart. Your moods, your feelings, they are not painted onto your soul. They are not permanent pigments. They are just the way the light is hitting you right now. Change the angle, change the structure, and the color changes. You are not the gray dust. You are the flash of blue. You are the event of the light. The prism forest. To understand how the trick works, we must go deeper. We must shrink down until we are standing on the surface of a single scale. We expect a flat floor. But instead, we find ourselves in a canyon. We are in the prism forest. Running along the length of the scale are long, parallel ridges. They look like mountain ranges seen from high above. But these are not random mountains. They are engineered. Cross-section this ridge in your mind. It looks like a Christmas tree. It has branches jutting out on both sides. These branches are spaced perfectly apart, exactly a few hundred nanometers. This distance is not accidental. It is the exact wavelength of blue light. Now, watch the light fall. A beam of white sunlight, containing all the colors of the rainbow, descends from the sky. It hits the Christmas tree. The light waves try to bounce off the branches. But because of the spacing, something chaotic and wonderful happens. It is called interference. Think of ocean waves crashing into a sea wall. The waves of red light hit the ridges, bounce back, and collide with other red waves. They are out of phase. They crash into each other and cancel each other out. The red is destroyed. The yellow waves hit the ridges. They crash and cancel. The yellow is destroyed. The green waves hit. Destroyed. But the blue waves? The blue waves hit the branches, bounce back, and line up perfectly with the next blue wave coming in. They are in phase. They stack on top of each other. They amplify. Surge. The forest rejects the blue. It throws it back up towards the sky with multiplied force. This is why the wing shines. It is not reflecting light, it is purifying light. It is taking the chaotic noise of the sun, stripping away the red and yellow and green, and singing back a pure, single note of indigo. Hum. The visual hum of blue. Walk through these canyons of light. The air here is shimmering. You are walking through a hologram. If you tilt your head, the color shifts. It turns to purple. It turns to turquoise. This is iridescence. It creates a visual lullaby. The color is not static, it breathes. As the butterfly breathes, the distance between the ridges changes slightly, and the color ripples. Imagine your breath doing the same. Inhale, the world turns azure. Exhale, the world turns violet. Inhale, azure. Exhale, violet. You are walking through a landscape that is reacting to your presence. The prism forest is alive with optics. There is a profound silence in this process. Physics is violent, waves are crashing, energies are canceling, but it happens without a sound. It results only in beauty. It teaches us about focus. The butterfly wing is a master of focus. It ignores the red. It ignores the yellow. It focuses entirely on the blue. To rest, we must do the same. We must let the other wavelengths of life cancel themselves out. We must let the noise destructively interfere, until only the clear, cool light of sleep remains. Reflect the peace. Amplify the silence. Let the rest fade away. The stained glass of ancients. We leave the organic world of the butterfly and travel through time and space to the world of human artifice. We are floating inside a grand, ancient cathedral, or perhaps holding a Roman goblet from the 4th century, the famous Lycurgus cup. The light streams through the glass. It is a deep, rich, glowing ruby red. It is a color that warms the soul. It looks like solidified wine. It looks like the last embers of a fire. But how did the ancients make this glass? Did they use red dye? Did they use blood? No. They used gold. Let us shrink down into the glass itself. We dive into the solid red wall. We are swimming through the silica matrix, the clear, frozen liquid of the glass. And suspended in this clear ocean are tiny, glittering spheres. They are gold nanoparticles. This is the alchemy of the nanoverse. In the macro world, gold is yellow. It is shiny. It is metallic. But when you cut gold down to a size of 50 nanometers, it loses its identity. It stops being a metal and starts being a trap for light. We approach one of these golden spheres. It is humming. This is the phenomenon of plasmon resonance. When a light wave hits this tiny ball of gold, the electrons on the surface of the gold start to slosh back and forth. They start to ring like a bell. Ring, ring, ring. But they ring at a very specific frequency. They ring at the frequency of green light. The gold absorbs the green. It swallows it. And what is left? What is allowed to pass through? The red. The ancients did not know about nanotechnology. They didn't know about electrons or plasmons. But they ground the gold into dust, melted it into the glass, and created a miracle. They trapped the sun in the stone. Float next to one of these vibrating gold spheres. It feels warm. It is energized. It is working hard to filter the light. This red glow is different from the blue of the butterfly. The blue was a reflection, it was cool. This red is a transmission, it is warm. It is the light that has survived the journey through the gold. It feels like the light of a sunset. The sun is setting on the nanoverse. The harsh, white glare of the day is being filtered by the gold in the glass. The greens and blues of alertness are being absorbed. Only the warm, sleepy red is touching you. This is the stained glass of the mind. Imagine that your mind is this cup. The thoughts of the day, the bright, yellow, glaring thoughts, are hitting the gold dust of your relaxation. The gold absorbs them. It quiets them. And what passes through into your dreams is only the warm, ruby glow of peace. The nanoverse is full of these hidden treasures. A pinch of gold dust can turn a clear window into a rose-colored sanctuary. It is a transformation of atmosphere. We drift through the red sea of the glass. It is thick and comforting. It feels like being inside a heart. The vibration of the plasmons is a gentle, rocking motion. Slosh, slosh. The electrons are rocking back and forth on the surface of the gold. They are lulling the light to sleep. The weavers of light have finished their tapestry. They have woven the blue of the sky using ridges. They have woven the red of the sunset using gold. They have taken the invisible energy of the universe and made it visible, made it beautiful, made it soft. You are bathed in this structural color. It is not paint. It cannot peel. It cannot fade. As long as the shape remains, the color remains. Your piece is structural. It is built into the shape of your rest. You do not need to apply it. You just need to maintain the shape. The shape of stillness. The shape of the breath. The shape of the prism. The light is fading now. The iridescence of the butterfly is dimming as the sun goes down. The ruby glow of the glass is darkening to a deep purple. The show is over. The gallery is closing. The ridges stand silent. The gold dust stops ringing. The dark returns, but it is a colorful darkness now. It is a darkness filled with the memory of the light. Rest in the afterglow. Rest in the structure. Sleep. Chapter 7, The Silent Healers. We have traveled far in this microscopic odyssey. We have descended into the void of the atom, walked the waxy forests of the leaf, and swam in the iridescent light of the butterfly's wing. We have seen the builders, the architects, and the artists of the nanoverse. But now, we turn our attention to the caretakers. We are leaving the external world behind entirely. We are turning the lens inward. We are slipping through the skin, diving deep into the warm, rhythmic currents of the body. We are going to meet the guardians that patrol the inner rivers of your life. We are entering the chapter of nanomedicine. In the macro world, medicine is often loud. It is sirens, monitors beeping, stark white lights, and the sharp sting of a needle. It is a battle fought with heavy artillery. But in the nanoverse, healing is not a war. Healing is a whisper. It is a gentle restoration of balance. It is the work of the silent healers. These are not chemical floods that drown the body, they are intelligent fleets. They are tiny ships of gold and DNA, sailing the crimson tides of your veins, looking for the broken places, looking for the shadows, to mend them with light and structure. The golden shells. Imagine we are floating in a wide, warm river. The fluid is a rich, deep crimson, thicker than water, carrying millions of red rafts, the blood cells, downstream. This is the bloodstream. It is the Amazon of the body. It pulses with a steady, rhythmic tide, the beat of the distant heart. Thump, whoosh, thump, whoosh. Floating among the red rafts, we see something strange and beautiful. We see glittering, golden moons. These are nanoshells. They are perfect spheres, engineered with a precision that rivals the movement of the planets. At their core is a tiny bead of glass, silica, and wrapped around this glass is a layer of pure gold, only a few atoms thick. They catch the light even here, in the dark river. They sparkle. We drift alongside one of these golden travelers. It is small, so small that a red blood cell looks like a massive island next to it. It moves effortlessly with the current, tumbling gently, flashing its golden skin. It is on a mission. But it is a peaceful mission. It is looking for the cold spots. In the landscape of the body, illness often manifests as chaos. It is a place where cells are growing too fast, where the blood vessels are twisted and leaky. The nanoshells are designed to slip through these leaks. They gather in the troubled areas, like friends gathering around a campfire. And then, the magic happens. From the outside world, from outside the skin, a light is shown. It is a warm, invisible light, near infrared. It passes through the tissue as easily as sunlight passes through a closed eyelid. It finds the gold. When the light hits the nanoshells, the gold begins to hum. It remembers the plasmon resonance we saw in the stained glass. But this time, it does not just trap the light, it converts it. It turns the light into heat. It is a gentle warmth. It is not a fire. It is a soothing, localized hyperthermia. Visualize the scene. The golden spheres are clustered around the illness. As the light hits them, they begin to radiate warmth. Glow. The heat spreads slowly, radiating outwards by just a few degrees. It acts like a warm compress applied to the very cellular structure of the disease. The heat cooks the illness away. It melts the chaos. It gently shuts down the machinery of the bad cells, while leaving the healthy cells, the ones right next door, completely untouched. This is the grace of the silent healers. They do not harm the innocent. They are precise. They are the snipers of warmth. To watch this process is to watch a sunrise in the dark. The golden shells light up, one by one, creating a constellation of heat in the deep tissue. The shadow of the illness fades, dissolved by the thermal embrace of the gold. There is a profound comfort in knowing that such technology exists. It means we are moving away from the era of cutting and burning, and into the era of glowing and melting. It feels like a hot stone massage for the interior of the body. The gold finds the knot. The light warms the gold. The knot dissolves. You can imagine these golden moons drifting through you right now. They are patrolling the river. They are bringing the warmth of the sun into the deepest parts of your night. They are melting the worry away. The origami box. We leave the golden moons and drift further downstream. The current slows as we enter a capillary, a narrow, quiet canal where the red blood cells have to squeeze through one by one. Here, we encounter a masterpiece of biological art. We see a shape that looks like it was folded by the tiniest hands in the universe. It is a box. A rectangular, barrel-shaped container with a lid. But it is not made of cardboard. It is made of the spiral. It is made of DNA. This is DNA origami. Scientists have learned the language of the DNA strands so well that they can now use them as building materials. They can take a long strand of genetic code and staple it together, folding it back on itself hundreds of times, until it creates a 3D shape. They have folded a box. And inside the box is a gift. It might be a molecule of medicine. It might be an enzyme. It might be a message. Whatever it is powerful. It is too powerful to be let loose in the river. If it were released too early, it might hurt the healthy banks of the stream. So, it is locked inside the origami. Float next to this tiny package. It is clamped shut. On the outside of the box, there are tiny locks, strands of DNA that act as a latch. The box travels silently. It bumps against the walls of the capillary. It bumps against the white blood cells. But it does not open. It is waiting for the key. The key is a specific pattern, a molecular signature found only on the surface of the cells that need healing. Watch the box approach its destination. It finds the cell. The locks on the box recognize the pattern on the cell. Click. The chemical bond snaps. The latch unhooks. And slowly, gracefully, the box unfolds. Open. It opens like a flower blooming in fast motion. It opens like a clam shell revealing a pearl. The gift is released exactly where it is needed. Not a micron too far to the left, not a micron too far to the right. It is a direct delivery to the doorstep of the problem. This is the end of side effects. In the old world, if you had a headache, you took a pill that flooded your whole body. It went to your toe, it went to your stomach, it went to your heart. It was a storm. But the origami box is a letter. It has an address. It goes only to the recipient. There is a deep intelligence in this design. It respects the body. It assumes that most of you is well, and only a tiny part needs help. It honors the wholeness of the system. Visualize millions of these tiny, folded boxes floating in your blood. They are like little treasure chests. They are holding health in reserve. They are the Trojan horses of peace. They enter the gates not to destroy, but to restore. See them folding and unfolding. The geometry is mesmerizing. Fold, lock. Drift, find. Unlock, bloom. It is a rhythmic cycle of delivery. You do not need to direct them. You do not need to tell them where to go. The address is written on the lock. Just trust the boxes. They are carrying the cargo of healing. They are sailing the Red River, bringing the gift to the place that hurts. The repair crew. Finally, we travel to the site of the healing itself. We shrink down even further, landing on the surface of a single-cell membrane. Here, we witness the ultimate dream of the nanoverse. We witness regeneration. In the macro world, when things break, we often glue them or patch them. A scar is a patch. It is a rough, hasty repair job. But the nanoverse does not believe in patches. It believes in renovation. We see a team of nanobots, or perhaps engineered protein machines, arriving at a damaged section of the cell wall. There is a tear here. The fabric of the cell is frayed. The repair crew goes to work. They do not just cover the hole. They reweave the fabric. Watch them. They pick up individual atoms of carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen. They act like masons placing bricks, or weavers threading a loom. Pick, place. Pick, place. They are stitching the cell back together from the bottom up. They are smoothing out the rough edges. They are polishing the damage until it vanishes completely. This is the promise of the silent healers, the erasure of history. When they are done, there will be no scar. There will be no sign that the damage ever existed. The cell will be as good as new. It will be factory fresh. This is a slow, methodical process. It takes time. It takes the quiet hours of the night. While you sleep, the crew is working. They are smoothing the lining of your arteries. They are knitting the microfractures in your bones. They are untangling the misfolded proteins in your brain. They are the janitors of the soul. Imagine the sound of their work. It is not the sound of construction. It is the sound of a library. It is the sound of pages turning, of soft whispers, of dust settling. Hush, mend. Hush, mend. It is a comforting thought, isn't it? To know that you are not a static object that slowly wears out. You are a dynamic project that is constantly being renewed. Every night, you are taken into the shop. The golden shells warm the cold spots. The origami boxes deliver the supplies. The repair crew stitches the tears. You wake up new. You might feel tired, you might feel old, but deep down, at the scale of the nanometer, you are being born again every second. The silent healers ask for nothing in return. They need only one thing from you, rest. They need you to lie still so the river can calm down. They need you to close your eyes so the energy can be diverted to the repair work. They need you to trust the process. The body knows how to heal. The atoms know where to go. The gold knows how to glow. We drift away from the cell wall now. We float back up into the center of the crimson stream. We look around at the fleet. The golden moons are shining. The folded boats are sailing. The weavers are weaving. The interior of your body is a busy, benevolent place. It is a sanctuary of self-care. You are safe in their hands. The war is over. The renovation has begun. Let the current carry you. Let the warmth spread. Let the boxes open. You are being fixed. You are being held. You are being healed. Sleep now, and let the crew do their work. Sleep. Sleep. Chapter 8, The Ghost in the Machine. We have traveled deep. We have journeyed past the skin, past the cell, past the molecule, and even past the golden lattice of the solid world. We have seen the machinery of life, the little walkers, the folding boxes, the spinning motors. They were comforting because they were mechanical. They made sense. They were like tiny versions of the things we use every day. But now, we must leave the world of common sense behind. We are going to the basement of reality. We are going to the place where the rules of the universe unravel and reknit themselves into something stranger, softer, and far more mysterious. We are entering the quantum realm. This is the chapter of the ghost in the machine. In the macro world, things are either here or there. A cup is on the table, or it is in the cupboard. It cannot be in both places at once. A wall is a barrier, you cannot walk through it. But down here, in the subatomic deep, those rules do not apply. Down here, matter loses its solidity. It stops being stuff and starts being possibility. It stops being a rock and starts being a ripple. We are about to discover that the solid ground you think you are lying on is actually a shimmering ocean of chance. We are about to discover that reality is not a hard-edged photograph, but a watercolor painting, wet, blurry, and beautifully bleeding at the edges. The wall that is missed. Let us begin with a wall. Imagine you are a tiny particle, an electron. You are flying through the void. Ahead of you, there is a barrier. It is an energy barrier, a mountain of repulsive force. In the big world, if you threw a tennis ball at a brick wall, it would bounce back. It is a simple law, solid hits solid, and stops. But you are not a tennis ball. You are a quantum object. As you approach the wall, you do not slow down. You do not brace for impact. You simply become a ghost. This is the phenomenon of quantum tunneling. It is the most magical and counterintuitive concept in physics. Because you are not just a particle, you are also a wave. And waves do not stop abruptly. They seep. They ripple. They extend. Your wave function, the mathematical description of your existence, spreads out. It hits the wall, but it does not bounce. It washes into the wall. It washes through the wall. And suddenly, without ever breaking the barrier, without ever drilling a hole, you appear on the other side. Pop. You have tunneled. You have walked through the mountain as if it were mist. Visualize this sensation. Imagine walking towards a closed door. But instead of turning the handle, you soften your body. You match your frequency to the wood. You become a cloud. And you drift right through the grain, emerging into the room beyond without a scratch. This is not science fiction. This is happening right now, inside the sun. The sun shines only because of this ghost trick. In the core of the star, protons are trying to fuse together to create light. But they are positively charged, they repel each other violently. They push each other away like magnets. They should not be able to touch. The wall of repulsion is too high. But they tunnel. They borrow energy from the vacuum. They become ghosts for a split second, slipping past the guard, and fusing in a warm embrace of light. Every beam of sunlight that warms your face, every photon that feeds the leaf, is born from a quantum ghost walking through a wall. It is a profound lesson in permeability. We often feel trapped in our lives. We feel trapped by circumstances, by walls of worry, by barriers of impossible. We feel like small particles hitting a brick wall. But the quantum realm whispers to us, you are not solid. You are a wave. The barrier is not as solid as it looks. It is just a probability. It is just a suggestion. If you relax, if you stop fighting the wall and simply allow your nature to spread out, you can pass through. You can tunnel through the difficulty. Visualize the barriers in your mind turning to mist. The anxiety? It is just fog. Walk through it. The fear? It is just smoke. Drift through it. The silence on the other side is waiting for you. There are no dead ends in the quantum world. There is always a way through. The blur of being. We float further into the quantum soup. The environment here is strange. It is visually soft. Nothing has a sharp outline. Everything is glowing with a fuzzy, indeterminate light. We are experiencing the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. In the human world, we are obsessed with precision. We want to know exactly where the train is and exactly how fast it is going. We want GPS coordinates. We want deadlines. We want definitions. But nature, at its heart, refuses to be pinned down. Werner Heisenberg discovered a fundamental truth: you cannot know everything about a particle at once. If you try to measure exactly where an electron is, its position, it becomes wild and jittery. You lose all knowledge of where it is going, its momentum. If you try to measure exactly how fast it is moving, it blurs out. You lose all knowledge of where it is. The more you focus on one, the blurrier the other becomes. This is not because our instruments are bad. It is because the particle itself is blurry. It does not have a precise address. It exists in a cloud of probability. Imagine a hummingbird. When it is hovering, its wings are beating so fast they become a blur. You cannot point to the wing and say, it is here. It is everywhere, in that blur at the same time. The electron is the same. It is a cloud of potential. It is a smudge of existence. We call this the blur of being. And there is a deep, resonant peace in this blur. It is the peace of letting go of definitions. We spend so much energy trying to define ourselves. I am a success. I am a failure. I am anxious. I am this. I am that. We try to pin ourselves down to a single coordinate. But the quantum soul is a cloud. You do not have to be just one thing. You can be a superposition of states. You can be happy and sad at the same time. You can be here and there. You can be a wave and a particle. Visualize yourself dissolving into this soft focus. Imagine that you are viewed through a camera lens that is gently twisted out of focus. The sharp lines of your face soften. The hard edges of your body melt into the background. You are no longer a distinct object separated from the world. You are bleeding into the atmosphere. The uncertainty principle is not a limit on knowledge, it is a liberation from boundaries. It is the freedom of the haze. Drift in this haze. It is a warm, gray-blue fog. There are no sharp corners here to hurt you. There are no jagged edges. Everything is rounded. Everything is smooth. You are not lost, you are just everywhere. You are delocalized. You are spread out over the universe like a thin layer of butter on warm toast. Rest in the uncertainty. You do not need to know where you are going. You do not even need to know where you are. It is enough to just be. To be the cloud. To be the blur. The spooky connection. And now, deep in the fog, we find the most beautiful secret of all. We see two particles. Let's say they are two photons of light, born from the same atom, born at the same instant. They fly apart. One flies to the left, traveling for 1,000,000 miles. The other flies to the right, traveling for 1,000,000 miles. They are separated by a galaxy of distance. They should be strangers now. But they are not. They are entangled. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance. He was disturbed by it because it broke the rule that nothing can travel faster than light. But looking at it now, it doesn't look spooky. It looks like love. These two particles are still one object. They share a single wave function. They share a single soul. If you touch the particle on the left, if you tickle it and make it spin up, the particle on the right will instantly spin down. Not a second later. Not a nanosecond later. Instantly. Across the vastness of the universe, they react in perfect unison. There is no signal sent between them. There is no wire. There is no Wi-Fi. They are simply connected at a level deeper than space and time. This is the spooky connection. It suggests that separation is an illusion. We look at the world and see separate islands, you, me, the tree, the star. We think there is empty space between us. But in the quantum basement, the floor is connected. We are all tangled up in the same great wave. The atoms in your body were forged in the hearts of stars that exploded billions of years ago. Those stars are entangled with the clouds of gas that form the Earth. The Earth is entangled with the Sun. You are entangled with everything. Imagine invisible threads of light connecting your heart to the rest of the cosmos. A thread connects you to the moon outside your window. A thread connects you to the ocean. A thread connects you to the person sleeping in the next room. When you breathe, the universe adjusts. When you sleep, the stars feel the change in your rhythm. You are never alone. Isolation is impossible in a quantum universe. Even in the deepest void, even in the darkest silence, you are linked. This connection is not heavy. It is not a chain. It is a dance. Visualize the twin particles dancing. One turns left, the other turns right. They are a perfectly synchronized ballet, performed across the stage of infinity. You are part of that ballet. The ghost in the machine is not a haunting spirit. It is the spirit of unity. It is the ghost that walks through walls to hold your hand. The quantum realm teaches us that the world is soft. The walls are permeable, tunneling. The locations are flexible, uncertainty. The connections are infinite, entanglement. It is a world designed for dreaming. Dreams, after all, follow quantum logic. In a dream, you can walk through a wall. In a dream, you can be in two places at once. In a dream, you are connected to everyone. Maybe sleep is just us returning to our quantum state. Maybe waking up is just collapsing the wave function into a single, boring reality. But tonight, we are expanding the wave function again. We are letting the edges blur. We are letting the barriers dissolve. We are pulling on the invisible threads. The machine of the body is slowing down. The gears are stopping. But the ghost is awake. The ghost is free. Float in the spooky, beautiful connection. Drift through the walls of the night. You are everywhere. You are everyone. You are everything. Sleep in the quantum mist. Sleep. Chapter 9, The Atomic Forge. We have walked through the walls of the quantum ghost. We have floated in the blur of uncertainty and felt the spooky connection of the entangled stars. We have dissolved our sense of solidity. But now, we must remember that the universe is not just a dream. It is also a construction site. Matter exists. It has form. It has weight. It has structure. We are traveling now to the place where these forms are born. We are going to visit the workshop of the future. But unlike the workshops of the human past, filled with the roar of fire, the ringing of anvils, and the smoke of coal, this workshop is silent. It is cold. It is clean. We are entering the atomic forge. This is the chapter of molecular assembly. It is the art of building the world one atom at a time. In the macro world, when we want to build a table, we cut down a tree. When we want to make a statue, we chip away at a stone. Our creation is an act of violence. It is an act of destruction and subtraction. We make a mess to make a shape. But in the nanoverse, creation is an act of placement. It is an act of gentle persuasion. It is the ultimate game of patience. The slow builder. Imagine we are standing on a flat, copper plain. It is a vast, reddish-gold desert, smooth as a mirror, stretching out to the horizon. The temperature here is near absolute zero. The thermal vibration, the jiggle we saw earlier, has been frozen into stillness. The atoms of the floor are locked in a quiet grid. Hanging above this plane is a giant. It is a needle. It is the tip of a scanning tunneling microscope, STM. To us, standing on the surface, it looks like a massive, inverted mountain descending from the sky. The tip of this mountain is sharp. Incredibly sharp. It terminates in a single atom. This is the slow builder. It is the pen that writes with matter. Watch what it does. Scattered across the copper plane are individual atoms of xenon. They look like large, blue, luminous boulders. They are sitting loosely on the surface. The needle descends. It does not touch the blue boulder. It hovers just above it, lowering itself until the atomic forces, the van der Waals forces, begin to hum. Hum. The needle becomes sticky. It grabs the atom, not with claws, but with attraction. And then, it moves. Slide. The needle drags the blue atom across the copper floor. It is a heavy, deliberate movement. You can almost feel the friction, the atomic roughness, as the boulder bumps over the grid of the floor. Bump, bump, bump. The needle stops. It retracts. It leaves the atom in a new position. Drop. Then it moves to the next one. Descend. Grab. Slide. Drop. This is the slowest construction project in history. But it is also the most perfect. In 1989, scientists used this technique to spell out the letters IBM using just 35 atoms. It was the first time humanity had reached down and physically moved the building blocks of the universe with intent. Visualize this process as a form of atomic Zen gardening. You are the operator of the needle. You are looking down at the scattered stones of your life. The chaos. The clutter. But here, you have the power to arrange them. You pick up one atom of worry. You slide it to the side. Slide. You pick up one atom of peace. You place it in the center. Slide. There is no rush. There is no glue. There are no screws. There is just the pure geometry of placement. If you place the atoms in a circle, you create a quantum corral. The electrons trapped inside ripple like water in a pond. You are sculpting the energy itself. Feel the satisfaction of this precision. In a world that feels messy and out of control, the atomic forge offers absolute order. Click. The atom falls into the hollow. Click. The next one aligns. It is a lullaby of organization. One by one. Bit by bit. The pattern emerges from the chaos. The slow builder teaches us that we do not need to fix everything at once. We just need to move the next piece. And then the next. The grand design is built from the smallest movements. The end of waste. As we watch the needle work, we realize something profound about this method of creation. Look at the floor. Look at the surrounding area. There is no sawdust. There are no metal shavings. There is no smoke. There is no trash. This is the end of waste. We are witnessing bottom-up assembly. In our current civilization, we are top-down builders. We take a big block of something and cut away the parts we don't want. We are sculptors of waste. To make a car, we waste metal. To make a chair, we waste wood. But nature builds from the bottom up. A tree does not grow by taking a giant block of wood and carving itself out. It grows by taking one molecule of carbon from the air, one molecule of water from the soil, and stacking them. Stack, stack, stack. It builds the leaf atom by atom. And because it builds only what it needs, there is zero waste. Every atom has a purpose. Every atom has a home. The atomic forge is the dream of bringing this purity to the human world. Imagine a factory that has no smokestacks. Imagine a construction site that has no dumpsters. Imagine a machine, a molecular assembler, that sits on your desk. You feed it dirt, or air, or water. It breaks these raw materials down into their atoms, sorts them, and then reassembles them into a strawberry, or a phone, or a diamond ring. It sounds like magic, but it is just chemistry with a steady hand. There is a deep spiritual cleanliness to this concept. Think about the waste in your own mind. The wasted energy on anger. The wasted hours on regret. The mental debris that clutters your headspace. The atomic forge invites you to a mental cleanup. Visualize a fleet of tiny assemblers entering your mind. They are not there to throw things away. They are there to repurpose them. They take the heavy, dark atoms of your stress. They do not destroy them, matter cannot be destroyed. They simply rearrange them. They unclick the bonds of anxiety. Snap, snap, snap. They take those same atoms of energy and reclick them into a new pattern. Click, click, click. They build a lattice of calm. They build a structure of hope. Nothing is wasted. The energy you used to worry is now the energy you used to dream. The heat of your anger is now the warmth of your sleep. It is a perfect economy of the soul. Watch the atoms clicking into place. It creates a feeling of intense satisfaction. It is like watching a puzzle solve itself. It is like watching Tetris blocks fall perfectly into the gap, clearing the lines. The clutter vanishes. The structure remains. The floor is clean. The mind is clear. The diamond from dust. And now, for the final act of the forge, we will witness the ultimate transformation. We are going to take the most common, humble, dirty material we can find. We are going to take a pile of soot. It is black. It is soft. It smears on your fingers. It is carbon in its chaotic, amorphous form. The atoms are jumbled together with no plan, like a pile of bricks dumped from a truck. We place this pile of soot into the atomic forge. The slow builder descends. The assemblers get to work. They do not add anything. They do not take anything away. They do not paint it. They do not polish it. They simply change the arrangement. They pick up a carbon atom. They look at its neighbors. You are holding hands loosely, the assembler says. Tighten your grip. The assembler forces the carbon atom to bond with 4 other carbon atoms in a pyramid shape, a tetrahedron. Click. It is a strong, rigid bond. Then it grabs the next atom. Make a pyramid. Click. And the next. Click. Slowly, the black pile of soot begins to change. The darkness fades. The opacity dissolves. The chaotic, jumbled mess is being disciplined into a crystal lattice. And suddenly, light begins to pass through. Where there was black dust, there is now a transparent window. Where there was softness, there is now the hardest substance in the universe. We have made the diamond. It is the same atoms. It is the exact same pile of carbon. But the structure has changed. The relationship between the atoms has changed. This is the lesson of allotropy. It teaches us that value is not about what you are made of, it is about how you are arranged. You might feel like a pile of soot right now. You might feel heavy, dark, and unformed. You might feel like you are just dust. But the atomic forge tells you, you are just a diamond that hasn't been arranged yet. You have all the raw materials. You have the carbon of life. You have the energy. You just need a little pressure. You just need a little patience. You just need to let the builder rearrange your lattice. Sleep is the time when this rearrangement happens. When you close your eyes, the mental assemblers go to work on the soot of your day. They take the scattered experiences and bond them into memories. They take the confused emotions and bond them into wisdom. They are turning the charcoal of the day into the diamond of the morning. Visualize this transformation happening in your chest. A heavy, black ball of stress is sitting there. The tiny hands of the forge begin to work on it. They are not fighting it. They are just shifting the atoms. Shift, align. Shift, align. The black ball turns clear. It turns bright. It turns into a crystal prism. The light shines through it, throwing rainbows on the walls of your heart. You are being crystallized. You are being refined. The atomic forge is quiet now. The work is almost done. The needle retracts into the sky. The assemblers return to their stations. On the floor of the workshop sits the result. A perfect, flawless structure. Built from the bottom up. Built without waste. Built from the dust. It shines in the darkness of the nanoverse. It is a beacon of order in a universe of entropy. You are that structure. Underneath the noise, you are that perfect grid. Rest in the forge. The heat is gone. The pressure is gone. Only the beauty remains. The atoms are locked. The bonds are holding. The diamond is safe. Sleep. Chapter 10, The Fabric of the Whole. We have reached the end of the descent. We have spent the night exploring the basement of the universe. We have swum through the golden gel of the cell, walked on the waxy pillars of the leaf, and stood in the silent, empty cathedral of the atom. We have seen the ghosts of quantum mechanics walking through walls, and we have watched the slow, patient needles of the atomic forge arranging the stones of reality. We have been small. We have been incredibly, impossibly small. But now, the journey turns. We are not going deeper. We are going home. But home is not a place you go to, it is a perspective you return with. You cannot unsee the atoms. You cannot unfeel the vibration. You are returning to the world of giants, but you are bringing the secret of the dust with you. We are entering the final chapter, the fabric of the whole. This is the chapter of integration. It is the realization that the nanoverse is not a separate dimension down there. It is right here. It is the skin of your hand. It is the air in your lungs. It is the wood of your bed. It is the fabric of your dreams. The universal dust. Stand for a moment in the silence of the atomic forge. Look at the diamond we created. Look at the carbon nanotube stretching into the dark. And now, realize one thing, you are made of this. It is a simple sentence, but it carries the weight of the cosmos. In the macro world, we define ourselves by our differences. I am a human, that is a rock. I am alive, that is a table. We draw hard black lines around our identities. We create borders. But down here, there are no borders. Look at the atoms in your finger. They are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. Now look at the atoms in the air surrounding your finger. Nitrogen, oxygen, carbon. Now look at the atoms in the sheet covering you. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. It is all the same dust. It is the universal dust. There is no human carbon versus rock carbon. A carbon atom is identical no matter where it sits. It has no memory of its past. An atom that was once part of a dinosaur's tooth is now part of the apple you ate for lunch, and is now part of the muscle in your arm. We are not solid, permanent statues. We are standing waves in a river of matter. Visualize a sand dune in the desert. The wind blows. The sand grains tumble up one side and down the other. The sand is constantly changing. New sand arrives, old sand leaves. But the shape of the dune remains. You are the dune. Every time you breathe in, you are inhaling billions of trillions of atoms from the world. They become part of you. They enter your blood, they build your cells. Every time you breathe out, you are exhaling billions of trillions of atoms of yourself. You are giving pieces of your body back to the wind. Science tells us that every 7 to 10 years, almost every single atom in your body is replaced. You are literally not the same person you were a decade ago. You have been rebuilt, atom by atom, by the nanoverse. This thought dissolves the ego. It dissolves the heavy sense of me that we carry around like a backpack. If you are just a temporary arrangement of a universal dust, what is there to defend? What is there to worry about? The dust was here before you were born. The dust will be here after you are gone. And right now, the dust is dancing the shape of you. Feel the freedom of this fluidity. You are not isolated from the universe, you are a local concentration of it. You are a gathering of the tribes. The air in the room is not outside you, it is just you waiting to happen. The water in the glass is not separate, it is your future blood. Blur the lines. Let the boundary of your skin dissolve in your mind's eye. See yourself as a cloud of atoms, merging gently with the cloud of atoms that is the bed, merging with the cloud of atoms that is the room. You are continuous with the whole. The connected web. As we prepare to ascend, we look at the connections one last time. We see that the nanoverse is not just a pile of dust, it is a web. It is a web of handshakes. Let us witness the most important handshake in your life. It is happening right now, inside your chest, deep in the microscopic tunnels of your lungs. We are floating in the alveoli, the tiny air sacs. The air you just breathed in is swirling here. It is full of oxygen molecules, two little blue spheres holding hands, $O_2. Rushing past in the capillaries below are the red blood cells. And inside them is a protein called hemoglobin. And inside the hemoglobin is an atom of iron. Watch the moment of contact. The oxygen molecule tunnels through the membrane. It approaches the iron. The iron reaches out. It uses a magnetic, chemical attraction. Click. The oxygen snaps onto the iron. It is a perfect fit. It is a lock and key. The iron catches the oxygen like a baseball player catching a ball. This is the breath of life. It happens sextillions of times with every inhalation. It is a silent, massive coordination between the atmosphere and the blood. And then, the blood carries the oxygen to the brain. The oxygen is released. It enters the mitochondria, the power plant. It burns the sugar, which came from the leaf. It releases energy. And that energy becomes a thought. Trace the line backwards. Your thought comes from energy. Energy comes from sugar. Sugar comes from the leaf, chapter 4. The leaf got it from the sun, chapter 6. The sun created the light. You are plugged into the star. There is a literal, physical wire of energy stretching from the fusion core of the sun, through the vacuum of space, through the atmosphere, through the chloroplast of the leaf, through the fruit, through your stomach, into your blood, and into your dream. You are solar powered. This is the connected web. We often feel lonely. We feel like tiny, insignificant specks floating in a dark, indifferent universe. But the nanoverse reveals that this isolation is a lie. You are not a speck floating in the dark. You are a node in a glowing network. You are a switching station for the energy of the cosmos. The universe is feeding you. Constantly. It feeds you air. It feeds you light. It feeds you gravity. Even the water in your cells is connected. The water molecules in your body are responding to the pull of the moon, just like the tides of the ocean. You are tidal. Feel the web holding you. It is a safety net. You cannot fall out of the universe. You are woven into it. The threads are strong, carbon nanotubes. The threads are flexible, DNA. The threads are warm, gold nanoshells. Rest in the web. You do not have to hold yourself up. The connections are holding you. The chemistry is holding you. The physics is holding you. The final integration. And now, the time has come to grow. We turn the dial on our imaginary remote control. We reverse the shrink ray. We begin to rise. First, we leave the atom. The nucleus recedes into the distance, becoming a tiny dot. The electron clouds merge together to become a solid surface. We rise past the DNA. We see the double helix coiling back up, packing itself away into the chromosomes. The library closes its doors for the night. We rise past the organelles. The mitochondria, the ribosomes, the lysosomes, they become specks of light in the golden city of the cell. We rise out of the cell. We see the tissue. We see the vast rivers of the capillaries. We see the forest of the skin. The ridges of the fingerprints flatten out. The mountains of hair become smooth again. We are back to the scale of the hand. Open your inner eyes. Look at your hand lying on the bed. It looks solid again. It looks like skin. It looks like you. But now you know the truth. You know that under that smooth, beige surface, there is a universe of empty space. You know that under the stillness, there is a wild, rhythmic dance of vibration. You know that under the silence, there is a symphony of assembly. This is the final integration. It is the bringing together of the two worlds. The world of the giant, you, and the world of the dwarf, the nano. You do not have to choose between them. You are both. You are the vessel that contains the infinity. How does it feel to be back? The room feels different now. The air feels richer. You know it is full of molecules bouncing and dancing. The pillow feels softer. You know it is made of woven fibers, and those fibers are made of chains of atoms holding hands. The silence of the room is not empty. It is the silence of the plenum. It is a silence that is full. Bring the qualities of the nanoverse into your sleep tonight. Bring the spaciousness. Remember the empty stadium. When a worry tries to cramp your mind, remember that you are 99.9% void. Let the worry float in the vast, empty space between your ears. There is plenty of room for it to drift away. You are not crowded. Bring the fluidity. Remember the quantum tunneling. When you feel blocked, remember that you are a wave. You can flow through the obstacle. You can soften. You can seep. Bring the repair. Remember the silent healers. Know that as soon as you drift off, the repair crew is clocking in. The nanobots are waking up. The gold is warming up. You are being fixed. You can let go of the control now. The captain is leaving the bridge. The ship is on autopilot. And the autopilot is billions of years old and incredibly wise. The nano world is the subconscious of matter. It runs the show without you needing to know the script. Your breathing is automatic. Your heartbeat is automatic. Your cellular division is automatic. Your healing is automatic. You have permission to be passive. You have permission to be the passenger. The return journey is complete. You are back in your body. But your body is lighter. It is vibrating with the hum of the stars. The heavy doors of the macro world are closing again, but this time, they are closing to protect you, not to trap you. You are safe inside the castle of your skin. But you know the walls are made of light. Drift now. Drift on the ocean of the small. The atoms are singing their lullaby. Hum. Hum. The lattice is holding. The connection is unbroken. The dust is dancing. You are the fabric of the whole. You are the universe sleeping. Rest. Rest. Rest.